Quick thought about promoting yourself online, especially if you're seeking an earned approach, which means you're not pouring a ton of money into paid advertising. You're de facto relying on sharing your shit, having other people excited about your shit, and then building up a groundswell of interest in whatever the fuck it is that you're offering or doing. Observation number one is fraud and hustle and bullshit. The only people that you really attract, at least initially, are people who want to make money off of you. You're out there with content or a service, some kind of product, and then you throw it out there. Nobody gives a shit. Repeat. Nobody whom you don't know gives a shit except the vultures who swirl around the rotting carcass of whatever it is you're trying to hustle people with. They're like hyenas laughing in the dark, waiting for you to get frustrated with this bullshit that is the internet at this point in time. Now, gone are the days where you can just throw shit out there and people will take notice. Unless you have a personal relationship. And by personal, I mean you've made contact with people, you have a community, they know who you are. Not by want of you throwing your shit out there out of nowhere. You bungee cord out of the sky, you wingsuit base jump out of nowhere with your brilliance. Wow, I'm such a fucking genius that you have to pay attention to me and buy my shit. Said everyone, always, with results that get nowhere fast. It doesn't work that way. Nobody gives a shit except those vultures and hyenas who are just waiting. And then you try and you muscle in and you spend hours and hours of time trying to self-promote in this tsunami of fucking online content, what I'm calling the wall of multimedia, multimodal, petabytes of content in everyone's face. Nobody gives a shit except those vultures and hyenas who swoop in and they want to create a relationship with you. Because here's the irony. They're up against that same wall, only in reverse. They're trying to hustle your hustle. And by doing so, they're trying to create a relationship with you so that several steps and iterations into it, you're like, oh man, I've been doing my best to self-promote my book, my product, my service. What is it that you do? Oh, just, as a matter of fact, I'm a book promoter. I'm a marketing consultant. I'm an expert in search engine optimization. I use AI to custom target your fucking audience. Round and round it goes, folks. Anyway, as a capper to this rant, which is something that everyone experiences, not just a guy trying to promote his book or his own consulting service, but everyone is dealing with this. Unless you have Bitcoin to have paid advertisement, earned media is bullshit in 2025. And I did a podcast on this. I'm doing another one shortly, part 2 of The Wall. But what I'm getting at is, unless you got Bitcoin for shoving your content in mass and at scale out there, you are pretty much fucked unless you kind of get lucky. And unless you first create community and relationships. That's my big point. And my other point is the hustlers are getting hustled by the hustlers. And my last point is AI can be the future of this in terms of a real solution. An AI brain can see the shit that I'm trying to hustle. They can analyze it, really with nuance, and cross-reference it with an audience who would actually give a shit. That's the future, folks. That's what I am learning, and that makes me Pollyanna about AI. AI, if done well, and it eventually will happen, will connect content, products, and services with their audience based on all of this knowledge of what that content, product, and service is and who the fucking audience is. We're not there yet, but everyone's shitting on AI and saying it's going to take over the world and fuck us. Well, it eventually will do that, but not yet. And along the way, we could really benefit. Where instead of hustling like a fucking idiot, like look at me, promote me when you don't give a fuck, it's going to be here's my shit. And the bots are going to be like, you know what, your shit is cool for certain people, and we're going to connect your cool shit with the cool people who are actually interested. And they're out there. They're really out there. So this ridiculous hustle that we're all doing is really going to be solved eventually by smart AI with transparent access to zettabytes of data and the intelligence to understand that, for example, I have a science fiction book that certain people out there would fucking love. They would read my book and be like, wow, this is awesome. But they're hard to find, folks. And the barriers that the wall has created are huge. And if AI brings us joy and solves our problems, it's going to be, hey, Mookie, says the bot, we have found 0.00001% of the online population who would actually love your shit, and we're going to connect you guys and pay. I'd pay for that, wouldn't you?